Inside the hive structure, the air was warm and had a sweet honey-like scent that made Kate drowsy. The walls pulsed with a gentle light, revealing a single chamber with what appeared to be sleeping platforms made of the same translucent material. As the exterior, we are not prisoners, Zara whispered as if reading Kate's thoughts. They are cautious as they should be. We are strangers on their world. Kate sat on one of the platforms, surprised to find it molded to her body, providing unexpected comfort. I thought you said they weren't friendly to outsiders. They are not, but they are fair. Zara settled on another platform, her silver hair catching the ambient light. We will need to earn their trust. How do we do that? Kate asked. Zara looked thoughtful. We must offer something of value. The Mori value knowledge and new experiences above all else. Before they could discuss further, one of the Mori entered the chamber, carrying what looked like bowls of glowing liquid. It placed them on a small table, then turned its multifaceted eyes toward the visitors. Our elder wishes to speak with you. The Mori said, its voice a strange combination of clicks and whispers. Rest now, you will be summoned at first light after the Mori left. Kate cautiously examined. The glowing liquid, it smelled like jasmine and mint. Is this safe to drink? She asked. Zara nodded, taking a small sip from one of the bowls. It is a nourishing drink common among many species in this sector. It contains proteins and nutrients compatible with most biological forms. Kate took a tentative sip, surprised by the pleasant taste like sweet tea with a hint of citrus. So these Mori, can they really read our minds? Not exactly. Zara explained. They sense emotions and detect falsehoods. They cannot read specific thoughts, but they know when someone is hiding something or has ill intentions. Great, Kate muttered. So they know you're a princess on the run. Zara looked concerned, I believe. So? Yes, which puts us in a precarious position. My cousin would pay handsomely for my capture. Kate felt a chill despite the warm air of the hive. What do we do? Sleep, Zara said simply. And tomorrow, we face the elder with honesty. The Mori despise deception above all else. Kate tried to sleep, but her mind raced. With everything that had happened in the past week, abducted from Earth, thrust into an alien civil war, and now prisoner on a strange planet with insect-like telepaths, it was like a science fiction novel come to life, except she was living it when she finally drifted off. She dreamed of Earth, of her small apartment and her job at the garage, of the simplicity of a life she had sometimes found boring, but now seemed like paradise. She woke to find Zara already awake and standing by the entrance. To their chamber, the princess looked worried, her golden eyes darker than usual. They are coming, Zara said. The elder has requested our presence. Moments later, 2 Mori guards arrived, escorting them through a series of tunnels that sloped downward, the ambient light growing brighter as they descended. Finally, they emerged into a vast chamber where dozens of Mori stood in concentric circles around a central platform upon which sat the largest Mori Kate had seen. Yet, its exoskeleton, a deep purple with swirling patterns of gold. You stand before the colony, elder, the guard announced, then retreated, leaving Kate and Zara alone in the center of the gathering. The elder rose to its full height, nearly 7 feet tall, its compound eyes shifting through colors like an oil slick in sunlight. Lysarian princess, the elder spoke, its voice deeper and more resonant than the others. We know who you are and why you flees. Zara bowed her head respectfully. Elder of the Mori, I apologize for not being forthright. Our situation is desperate, and you, the elder, turned its gaze to Kate, human from Earth, far from your world. How came you to travel with royalty in exile? Kate swallowed nervously. I saved her from guards on their ship without knowing who. I was camping and they took me from Earth. Interesting, the elder clicked its mandibles. You have formed a savior bond, one of the most sacred traditions of the Lysarian people. Kate glanced at Zara, who looked uncomfortable. Yes, though I don't fully understand what that means. The elder made a sound that might have been laughter. It means Princess Zara is now bound to protect you as you protected her. It is a life debt that cannot be broken, except by death. It also means you are now considered Lysarian by extension under their laws. Kate blinked, trying to process this information. Wait, him legally an alien now, in the eyes of Lysarian law. Yes, the elder confirmed this. Complicates matters. Your presence puts our colony at risk. Princess Zara, We have maintained neutrality in Lysarian politics for generations. We seek only repairs for our vessel. Zara said we will depart as soon as possible. The elder clicked thoughtfully. We have received communications from Lysarian vessels they search. For you offering rewards for information, they will be here within 2 cycles of our sunskate. Felt panic rising. We need to leave now. Patience, human. The elder raised one of its 4 arms. We have not decided your fate. You bring danger, but also opportunity. It has been many cycles since we have had direct contact with Lysarian leadership. Zara stepped forward. What are you suggesting, Elder? A trade? The elder said. Information for repairs. We will help you escape. But in return, you will grant the Mori colony special trading rights when you reclaim your throne. Zara hesitated. I cannot guarantee victory against my cousin. You are the rightful heir. The elder clicked. If you survive, you will honor this agreement. I will. Zara agreed with a formal bow. The Mori, have my word. The elder seemed satisfied and turned to address the gathered Mori in their own language. The clicking and chittering rose to a crescendo before the elder raised all 4 arms for silence. It is decided, the elder announced. You will be given sanctuary for 3 days while your vessel is repaired. You will be provided with supplies for your journey. But you must leave before the Lysarian ships arrive. Thank you, Elder Zara said with evident relief. As they were escorted back to their chamber, Kate felt both relieved and troubled. They had a chance to escape, but she was now apparently considered legally Lysarian. Whatever that meant. She wondered if she would ever see Earth again. Over the next 3 days, Kate watched in fascination. As the Mori worked on their damaged ship, the insectoid beings moved with incredible efficiency, their 4 arms allowing them to perform multiple tasks simultaneously. The technology they used was unlike anything Kate had seen even on Zara's ship. It seemed almost organic in nature, parts growing and fusing together rather than being welded or bolted. Zara spent much of her time with the Mori elder. Apparently discussing politics and trade agreements, Kate found herself with little to do except explore the immediate area around the hive. Careful not to wander too far, on the 2nd day she discovered a small pool of water that reflected the twin suns like liquid gold. Sitting beside it, she found herself overwhelmed by homesickness. You're far from home, a voice said behind her. Kate turned to see a smaller Mori, its exoskeleton a lighter shade than the others, almost amber in color. Yes, Kate admitted, very far. The Mori settled beside her, its movements graceful despite its alien form. I study other species, and Kate, she offered. Nice to meet you. You are the first human I have encountered. Nivi said, I find your biology fascinating, especially your emotional responses. Kate smiled, despite herself. Are you reading my emotions right? Now slightly, Nivi admitted. You project sadness and longing, but also curiosity and resilience. It is an interesting combination. They sat in companionable silence for a while before Nivi spoke again. The princess values you. What makes you say that, Kate? Asked. She is protective of you, Nivi explained, beyond the requirements of the savior bond. There is genuine concern. Kate hadn't considered that she had assumed Zara kept her close because of this alien tradition, not out of any real attachment. The Lysarian savior bond is misunderstood by outsiders. Nivi continued. It is not merely obligation. It is recognition of kindred spirits. The Lysarians believe those who save each other are connected across time and space. That sounds spiritual, Kate said. The Lysarians do not distinguish between science and spirituality as humans do. Nive replied. They believe the universe itself brings together those who are meant to find each other, quantum entanglement on a biological level. Kate wasn't sure what to make of that, but before she could ask more questions, a Mori guard approached. The elder requests your presence. Human Nivi rose gracefully. I will accompany you in the elder's chamber. Kate found Zara already present, looking troubled. The elder gestured for Kate to join them. We have detected Lysarian vessels approaching earlier than expected. The elder announced they will arrive by nightfall. We need to leave immediately. Zara said, her voice tense. Your vessel is not fully repaired. The elder replied. It will fly, but the dimensional shift capabilities are still damaged. You will not be able to escape your pursuers that way. Zara looked grim. Then we must try to outrun them. There is another option. Nevi spoke up, surprising Kate. The human could stay with us while the princess leads the pursuers away. Both Zara and Kate turned to stare at the smaller Morith. Lysarians want the princess, not the human. Nevi explained logically. We could hide the human among us while the princess escapes when the pursuers leave. The human can follow in a Mori vessel. Absolutely not, Zara said immediately. The savior bond requires that we remain together, but Kate would be safer here. The elder noted. I don't care, Zara replied with unexpected passion. I will not abandon her. The ship shot through space at incredible speed, stars blurring past the viewport. Kate gripped her seat as the vessel shuddered and groaned under the strain. Zara piloted with intense concentration, her silver hair flowing behind her as if moved by an invisible wind. The pursuing ships are gaining. Zara said, her voice tight. We cannot outrun them indefinitely. What options do we have? Kate asked, trying to stay calm despite the dire situation. Zara hesitated, then pointed to a dense field of swirling gases and debris ahead. The nebula could provide cover, but navigation will be extremely dangerous. More dangerous than being captured. Kate countered. Zara nodded grimly and adjusted their course. The ship plunged toward the colorful chaos of the nebula, the pursuing vessels close behind as they entered the swirling gases. Visibility dropped dramatically, the viewport showing only shifting colors and occasional glimpses of solid matter proximity. Alerts blared as debris scraped against their hull. Zara piloted with incredible skill, narrowly avoiding collisions that would have destroyed their small craft. Kate held her breath as a massive chunk of rock passed within inches of their starboard side. The nebula interferes with sensors, Zara explained, making it harder for them to track us, but also making it harder for us to navigate. A sudden explosion rocked their ship, throwing Kate against her restraints. They are firing blindly into the nebula, Zara said, her golden eyes wide with alarm, hoping to hit us by chance. Another explosion closer this time sent their ship spinning. Kate felt nauseated as the viewport showed a dizzying whirl of colors and shapes. Zara fought to stabilize the craft, her fingers dancing across the controls with desperate speed. A third explosion hit them directly. The ship lurched violently and warning lights flashed across every panel. We are hit, Zara announced, engine power at 50%, hull breach in the rear compartment. Sealing now. Kate unbuckled her restraints. We need to make repairs, too dangerous, Zara said. We must keep moving. A proximity alert screamed and Zara yanked the controls, sending them into a steep dive. A Lysarian patrol ship passed directly overhead, so close Kate could see the weapons mounted on its hull through the viewport. They know we are here, Zara whispered. We must find somewhere to hide. Ahead, Kate spotted a darker region within the nebula. What about there? She pointed it. Looks denser, might provide better cover. Zara nodded and adjusted their course. The ship limping toward the dark mass as they approached, Kate realized it was just a dense part of the nebula. It was a massive asteroid or small moon, its surface riddled with craters and crevices. We can land there, Kate suggested. Hide the ship in one of those canyons. Zara guided the damaged vessel toward a particularly deep fissure in the surface of the asteroid. The landing was rough, the ship sliding along the rocky ground before coming to a stop wedged between two outcroppings of Blackstone engines offline. Zara reported life support on emergency power. Only we are effectively stranded. Kate unstrapped and moved to check the damage control panel. The rear hull breach is contained, but we need to repair it properly and the engines need work. Zara looked at her with surprise. You understand our systems? I'm a mechanic, Kate explained. Engines are engines, even alien ones follow certain principles. Zara activated a screen showing the exterior of their vessel. We are well hidden. In this canyon, the nebula will mask our energy signature, but we need to make repairs quickly. They donned protective suits and exited the ship into the low gravity of the asteroid. The surface was black and porous under Kate's feet, the sky above, filled with the swirling colors of the nebula. It was both beautiful and terrifying. They worked for hours, Kate finding that her mechanical skills translated reasonably well to the alien technology. With Zara's guidance, she repaired the hull breach, welding alien metals that seemed to flow like water before hardening into something stronger than steel. The engine proved more challenging. A crucial component had been damaged beyond repair. Without it, they could achieve only minimal thrust, not enough to escape pursuing ships. We need a replacement, Zara said, examining the burned-out crystal matrix that had once powered their main engines. This technology is specific to Lysarian vessels. Kate wiped sweat from her forehead, even in the temperature. Controlled suit, the work was exhausting. What about the ships following us? She suggested. If we could lure one down, disable it. We might salvage parts. Zara considered this. They would need to send a landing party. The nebula would prevent them from using their transporters. Too risky. She concluded. Suddenly a light flashed on Zara's wrist device. She tapped it, revealing a small holographic display. A message, she explained, from the Resistance. Kate moved closer to see the hologram. A Lysarian male, his features similar to Zara's but sharper, more angular. Princess Zara, we have received your distress signal. The male said, his voice tinny through the small speaker. We have agents aboard one of the pursuit vessels. They will attempt to divert the search away from your position. Hold your position. A rescue ship has been dispatched but will take at least 3 cycles to reach you. The message ended and Zara looked thoughtful. 3 cycles, she mused. That is approximately 3 Earth days. Can we survive that long? Kate asked. Your life support is stable, Zara replied, and we have supplies, but if the other ships detect us before rescue arrives, they return to the ship to conserve their suit oxygen. Once inside, Kate removed her helmet and shook out her hair, which was damp with sweat. What do we do for 3 days? Zara removed her own helmet, her silver hair somehow still perfect. We wait and we plan. We cannot return to Lysarian space directly, but there are allies who might shelter. Kate sat on her bunk, feeling the weight of exhaustion. Who exactly are these resistance fighters, loyal Lysarians who oppose my cousin Zara? Explained. Noble houses, military officers, common citizens who believe in my father's vision of peace. And what happens if you retake the throne? Kate asked the question that had been nagging at her. What happens to Zara's golden eyes fixed on Kate? I would return you to Earth if that is your wish. Is it that simple? Kate wondered aloud. Zara looked away. Nothing is simple in politics, she admitted. My cousin has likely told our people that I am dead or a traitor. Returning means war. They spent the next day making what repairs they could to their systems. Kate found the work satisfying despite the challenges. Alien technology had a certain elegance to it. Components that seemed to respond almost organically to adjustments. Zara proved a knowledgeable assistant, explaining the function of various systems and helping Kate improvise tools during a rest break. Kate asked the question that had been troubling her. Tell me more about this savior bond. What exactly does it mean? Zara settled beside her Lysarians. Believe that when one life saves another, a connection forms between them. It is partly spiritual, partly biological. Our scientists say there are actual changes in brain chemistry when the bond forms, like falling in love. Kate asked, then blushed at her own question. Not exactly, Zara said. Though there are similarities, it is more like becoming family, an unbreakable connection that transcends normal relationships in our history. Savior bonds have led to our greatest partnerships, our strongest alliances. Our most successful rulers often had savior-bonded advisors, and if I decided I want to go home to Earth, Kate pressed. What then? The bond remains, Zara said simply. Distance does not weaken it. Lysarians have maintained savior bonds across galaxies for lifetimes. Kate was about to ask another question when alarms blared throughout the ship. Zara rushed to the control panel. Ship approaching. She announced it's not Lysarian design. The view screen showed a vessel unlike anything Kate had seen before. It resembled a massive insect with multiple appendages extending from a central body. Maury, Zara identified, sounding surprised. They have found us. The ship settled on the asteroid surface not far from their position. Moments later, their communication system activated. Princess Zara, a familiar voice said. Neva's voice. We have come to assist. Zara opened a channel. Nevi, this is unexpected. How did you find us? Kate remembered the crystal Nevi had given her and pulled it from her pocket. Is it this? She asked, holding up the small glowing stone. Zara examined it, a tracking beacon, she confirmed. Clever. They donned their suits again and exited the ship to meet the Maury vessel. Nevi emerged with several other Mori all wearing protective gear, adapted for their insectoid bodies. The Elder sent us. Nevi explained the Lysarian ships changed course, but we detected your emergency beacon. We brought replacement parts for your ship. Zara bowed deeply. Please thank the Elder for this generosity. It will not be forgotten. The Mori had indeed brought compatible engine components within hours. Kate and Zara, with the help of the technically skilled Mori, had their ship operational again. Before departing, Nevi took Kate aside. You chose to stay with the princess? The Mori observed. I did? Kate acknowledged, though I'm not entirely sure why. Nevi made a sound. Like gentle laughter, the savior bond is rarely understood by those within it, only by those observing it. Have you not noticed how she looks at you? What do you mean? Kate asked. For Lysarians, Nevi explained. The savior bond is their most sacred relationship. Even above family ties or political alliances, when Princess Zara looks at you, she sees someone who risked everything without obligation. That is rare, especially for royalty, who are accustomed to service out of duty. Kate hadn't considered it from that perspective. To her, saving Zara had been instinctive, not special. Nova Haven appeared on the view screen as a sprawling space station. Its architecture a chaotic mixture of different alien designs. Sections had clearly been added over time, creating an asymmetrical structure that somehow functioned as a cohesive whole. Hundreds of ships of various sizes and configurations orbited around it, like insects around a hive. Welcome to Nova Haven, Zara said, as she guided their ship toward a docking bay. One of the most diverse trading posts in this sector. Every species with spacefaring capability has a presence here. Kate stared in amazement at the station. It looked like something from a science fiction movie, only real and infinitely more complex. How do we know it's safe? Won't your cousin have agents here too? Zara nodded. Nova Haven has no extradition agreements with any government, including the Lysarian Empire. We will need to be cautious, but the station's security forces are notoriously neutral. They care only about preventing violence within the station itself, not about external politics. As they docked, Kate felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She was about to enter a truly alien environment with potentially hundreds of different species. How was she supposed to act? What were the customs? Zara seemed to sense her concern. Stay close to me, she advised. I will obtain suitable clothing for you. Your Earth attire would mark you immediately as an outsider. Their ship docked with a gentle thump, and Zara activated a series of security protocols, locking down sensitive systems and activating what she described as perception filters to make their vessel appear as an ordinary trading ship rather than Lysarian design. Before leaving, Zara handed Kate a small device that resembled a hearing aid. It translated both ways, she explained. You will hear others in your language and they will hear you in their. Kate inserted the device into her ear, feeling it adjust comfortably. This is incredible, she murmured. Standard technology, Zara said with a small smile. She then handed Kate a cloak with a hood. Pull this on and keep your head partially covered. Humans are rare but not unknown here. You will attract less attention this way. As they exited their ship into the docking bay, Kate was immediately overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, and smells of Nova Haven. The air was thick with unfamiliar scents, some pleasant, some decidedly not. Various beings hurried past them, some humanoid, others completely alien in form. A creature that appeared to be made entirely of shifting blue gel flowed past, while overhead small winged beings darted through the air carrying messages and small packages. Zara led Kate through the docking bay into a vast central concourse where hundreds of aliens mingled, browsing shops and stalls that offered goods from across the galaxy. Kate tried not to stare, but it was impossible not to. Food that moved on plates, clothing that seemed alive with shifting colors, weapons and technology beyond her comprehension. Keep moving, Zara whispered, looking cautiously around. We need to find lodging first, then make contact with our allies. They found accommodations in what Zara called a mid-level habitat ring, a modest room with 2 sleeping platforms and basic amenities. The room had clearly been designed to accommodate various species with adjustable gravity settings and atmospheric control. Zara secured the door and finally relaxed her shoulders, dropping from their tense position. We should be safe here, she said. The rooms in this section have privacy shields that block scanning technology. Kate sat on one of the sleeping platforms, finding it surprisingly comfortable. So what's the plan? Zara removed a small device from her pack and activated it, projecting a holographic map of the station. First, we need supplies and information. There is a Lysarian expatriate who runs a trading post in the lower markets. He is loyal to my father. Do we just walk up and say hi him? The Princess Kate asked. Zara smiled. The first genuine smile Kate had seen from her. Not exactly. We use a recognition code. I will appear to be browsing his wares, then request a specific item, one that doesn't exist. It will signal who I am without revealing my identity. It sounded like something from a spy movie, but Kate nodded, understanding the need for secrecy. When do we go? Zara checked what appeared to be a timepiece. Soon, but first, she gestured at Kate. We need to make you less obviously human. Kate raised an eyebrow. How exactly do we do that? Zara produced a small case from her pack and opened it, revealing what looked like makeup. But unlike any Kate had seen, the colors shifted and moved as if alive. Subtle cosmetic alterations, she explained, nothing dramatic, just enough to make your features less distinctly human. Kate submitted to Zara's careful application of the strange cosmetics, watching in a mirror. As her appearance subtly changed her skin tone, taking on a faint silvery sheen, her eyes appearing slightly larger, her features becoming more angular. When Zara finished, Kate hardly recognized herself. She looked almost Lysarian, though anyone looking closely would still see a human. The effect was uncanny. Perfect, Zara said, standing back to examine her work. Now you look like a hybrid, which is common enough here to avoid notice. They left their room and made their way to the lower markets, a chaotic maze of stalls and shops, crowded with beings of all descriptions, haggling in dozens of languages. Kate stayed close to Zara, feeling overwhelmed by the sensory input. The translator in her ear worked perfectly, but the sheer volume of conversations created a disorienting babble. Zara moved with confidence through the crowd, occasionally stopping to examine goods at various stalls, maintaining their cover as ordinary shoppers. Finally, she paused at a small booth tucked between two larger shops. The proprietor was clearly Lysarian, though his skin was darker than Zara's and marked with intricate patterns that Kate guessed might be tattoos or ritual scarification. Zara browsed the displayed items, which appeared to be navigation equipment and star charts, before quietly asking, "Do you have any Cordian phase crystals?" The proprietor's eyes widened slightly, before his expression returned to neutral. "Not in stock, but I may be able to obtain some if you return after the next cycle." Zara nodded and moved away, pulling Kate along with her. That was the signal. She whispered, "He will meet us later." They continued, shopping, purchasing food supplies, medical items, and what Zara described as personal shields, small devices that could generate a protective energy field in an emergency. As they were examining weapons at another stall, Kate noticed a group of uniformed aliens entering the market area. They moved with military precision, their armor black with silver markings. Zara saw them too and casually turned away, pulling her hood lower. "Security forces," she murmured. "Or possibly bounty hunters looking for us." Kate's heart began to race. "Should we return to the ship?" No, Zara said. "Keep browsing, act natural, but let's move toward the exit." They made their way slowly toward the nearest exit, trying not to appear hurried. A difficult task, as Kate felt panic rising in her chest just before they reached the exit. One of the armored figures looked directly at them, its face concealed behind a reflective visor. The figure spoke into a communication device and started moving toward them. "Run," Zara hissed. Dropping all pretense, they pushed through the crowd, Kate following close behind as shouts erupted behind them. They ran through twisting corridors, Zara leading them deeper into the station away from their ship. Kate realized, "We can't go back to our room or the ship," she gasped. "They'll be watching." Both Zara nodded grimly, pulling Kate into a narrow maintenance passage. "We need to reach the expatriate. He can hide us." They emerged into a less crowded section of the station service corridors where drones and workers moved supplies between sections. Zara pulled Kate into an alcove, checking a small device from her pocket. "The expatriate has sent coordinates." She whispered, "It's not far." They moved more cautiously now, avoiding main corridors and security cameras that Zara pointed out several times. They froze as patrols passed nearby, holding their breath until the danger passed. Finally, they reached a nondescript door in a quiet corridor. Zara tapped a specific pattern on the panel, and the door slid open, revealing the Lysarian merchant from the market. Quickly, he said, ushering them inside before securing the door. "Welcome, Princess." He bowed deeply to Zara. "I am Terran, loyal to your father." Zara clasped his hand formally. "I remember you from court. You served as trade ambassador to the fringe world." Terran nodded, his expression somber. "The situation is dire, Princess. Your cousin has consolidated power. Executions have begun of those loyal to your father." Zara's face paled. "My father?" "Alive," Terran assured, her but imprisoned awaiting public trial. "Kelvar wishes to make an example of him." Zara sank into a chair, her composure finally breaking. Kate had never seen her show such vulnerability before. "They know you are alive." Terran continued, addressing Zara. "There is a bounty on both your heads." He glanced at Kate. "Especially yours, human me?" Kate asked in surprise. "Why me?" "Because of the savior bond." Terran explained, "If Kelvar captures you, he can use you to control the princess. Many Lysarians, especially the traditionalists, would never accept a ruler who abandoned or failed their savior bond partner." "Great," Kate muttered. "So now I'm valuable." Terran offered them drinks, a warm beverage that tasted like cinnamon and something Kate couldn't identify. "I have contacted the resistance," he said. "They are sending a ship, but Nova Haven security has been compromised. Kelvar has paid off officials. You must leave before the next cycle." Zara looked up sharply. "But our ship will be watched." Terran smiled. "I have arranged alternative transportation." He activated a holographic display showing a cargo vessel, not elegant but functional. "You will leave as cargo workers. Your identification has been arranged." Kate remained hidden as the security forces escorted Zara from the cargo hold, her mind racing with fear and desperation. The princess had sacrificed herself, but Kate refused to accept that. As the final outcome, she examined the small device Zara had pressed into her hand. It resembled a compass, but instead of north, it seemed to indicate a specific direction. The needle glowing faintly, the ship shuddered as its engines powered down. The security alert had obviously halted its departure. Kate needed to move quickly before they searched the cargo hold more thoroughly. She slipped the device into her pocket and crawled toward the rear of the hold, where she had noticed a maintenance hatch earlier. The hatch opened into a narrow crawl space, designed for maintenance drones. Kate squeezed inside, pulling the panel closed behind her. She followed the cramped tunnel until it opened into a junction of larger maintenance shafts. Here she could stand, though hunched over. She needed a planned save. Zara somehow, but she was alone on an alien space station with no allies and no resources, except what she carried. Kate took a deep breath to calm herself. What would Zara do? She wondered. The princess always had a strategy, always thought several moves ahead. The compass device suddenly vibrated in her pocket. Kate pulled it out and saw that the needle was pulsing more brightly now, pointing decisively in a specific direction. Following her instincts, Kate began moving through the maintenance tunnels in the direction indicated. After nearly an hour of navigating the labyrinthine passages, Kate emerged into a small cargo transfer area, where workers loaded smaller vessels for transport around the station. She kept her head down, using the work coveralls Terran had provided as camouflage among the various station workers. The compass led her to a specific docking bay, where a small, sleek vessel waited, unlike the utilitarian cargo ships. This craft had the elegant lines Kate had come to associate with Lysarian design. Approaching cautiously, Kate noticed a figure standing by the entry ramp. It was Terran. The Lysarian merchant looked unsurprised to see her. "I was hoping you would find your way here," he said quietly. Zara gave herself up, Kate blurted out. "They took her." Terran nodded grimly. "I know word travels fast on Nova Haven." She activated the emergency protocol. "We prepared for this possibility." "You knew this might happen?" Kate asked, incredulous. The princess considered all scenarios. Terran explained. "She knew she was more likely to be recognized than you and prepared accordingly. Now we must move quickly to execute the rescue." Kate felt a surge of hope. "You have a planter," and gestured to the ship. "I have allies aboard Nova. Haven's security systems are sophisticated but not impenetrable. We know where they are holding her." The entry ramp lowered, revealing the interior of the ship. Kate followed Terran inside where 3 other Lysarians waited, all wearing the same dark clothing with subtle insignia that Kate now recognized as symbols of the Resistance. This is Vela Moran and Taz. Terran introduced them. They will help recover the princess. Vela, a female Lysarian with striking violet eyes, nodded to Kate the savior. Bond led you here. She stated it was not mere technology. The compass, Kate asked, taking it from her pocket, not just a direction finder. Vela explained it connects to the princess through the savior bond technology, enhancing your natural connection. That sounded like mysticism to Kate, but she had seen enough strange things in the past weeks to keep an open mind. So what exactly is the planter? Activated a holographic display showing a 3-dimensional map of a section of Nova Haven security. Headquarters level 4. High-value detention, she pointed. They are holding the princess there temporarily while awaiting transport to a Lysarian vessel. Can we get to her before the transport? Kate asked. Moran, a muscular Lysarian with facial markings, similar to Terran's, nodded. We have a narrow window. The transport is scheduled in 3 hours. We will infiltrate posing as maintenance workers. It was a dangerous plan with many potential points of failure, but Kate saw no alternative waiting for her. Would be small vessels to carry them away from Nova Haven and to the Resistance base. First, we need to disguise you, Vela said, examining Kate with a professional eye. Your features are too distinctly human, even with the cosmetic alterations. Taz, the 4th Lysarian who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. He carried what looked like a medical case from it. He removed what appeared to be a mask, but unlike any mask Kate had seen, it seemed almost alive. Shifting and flowing bioskin, Taz explained in a deep voice. It will bond temporarily with your facial structure, creating a convincing Lysarian appearance. The effect is more than cosmetic. It will fool biometric scanners. Kate hesitated, looking at the strange material. It's safe, he assured her, completely reversible, steeling herself. Kate nodded her consent. Taz applied the material to her face. It felt cool and slightly tingling as it adhered to her skin, spreading to cover her features. When he finished, he held up a mirror. Kate gasped at her reflection. She appeared completely Lysarian. Her skin now the same opalescent shade as Zara's. Her eyes golden, her features subtly altered. Remarkable, she whispered, touching her face. It felt like her own skin. The disguise would not work. For extended periods, Taz warned a detailed medical scan would reveal anomalies, but it will pass standard security checks. They quickly briefed Kate on her role in the plan. She would pose as a junior security official, recently transferred from another station. Vela would be her superior. The others would create diversions at strategic locations to draw attention away from their operation. An hour later, dressed in appropriately acquired security uniforms, Kate and Vela approached the detention level. Vela's identification granted them access. Kate kept her eyes down, avoiding direct contact with other security personnel, her heart pounding with each step. The security chief is a mercenary, Vela murmured as they walked. Not Lysarian, he can be bribed. They reached a security checkpoint where a large alien with reptilian features examined their credentials. Vela stepped forward. I have orders to prepare the Lysarian prisoner for transport. The security chief studied her identification. Then Kate's suspicious. Of the newcomer, Kate remained impassive, remembering Vela's coaching. Breathe, normally maintain eye contact, but don't stare. After what seemed an eternity, the chief nodded. Access. Granted, security chamber 3. You have 15 minutes, standard procedure. They passed through the checkpoint and Vela led the way to a corridor lined with security doors at the far end. They found chamber 3. Vela placed her palm on the scanner, and the door slid open, revealing a stark room with a single containment field. In the center, Zara stood within the field, her posture proud. Despite her situation, her eyes widened slightly at the sight of Kate in her Lysarian disguise, but she quickly masked her surprise. Vela activated her communication device. The package is secured, she said in code. Proceed with extraction. Moments later, alarms blared throughout the facility. Attention, all personnel, security breach in docking bay 12. All available officers report immediately. The security chief appeared in the doorway. We need to move the prisoner. He snapped. Someone is attempting to steal a Lysarian vessel. Exactly as planned. Vela nodded. Kate, position yourself outside guard. The door. Kate stepped into the corridor, watching as the security team rushed past, responding to the diversion Terran and the others had created at the docking bay. When the corridor cleared, Vela emerged with Zara now free of her restraints. Quickly this way, Vela urged them toward a service elevator at the end of the corridor. They were halfway there when a voice called out, "Halt!" The security chief stood behind them, weapon raised. That was too easy. He snarled into his communication device. "I need backup detention level." Vela drew her own weapon cover. She shouted, pushing Zara and Kate toward the elevator. As she fired at the security chief, Kate pulled Zara into the elevator. As weapons fire erupted in the corridor, Vela fired several more shots, then dove into the elevator as the doors closed behind her. "She was hit," Zara exclaimed, kneeling beside Vela, who clutched her side where a wound leaked silvery blood. "Am I right?" Vela gasped. "Just get to the extraction point." The elevator descended rapidly, stopping at a maintenance level. They half-carried Vela through a series of corridors following her directions until they reached an access hatch to an external docking platform. There Terran waited with a small craft. "We need to hurry," he said, helping Vela aboard. "They know our escape route." As they secured Vela in the craft, alarms continued to blare throughout the station. Kate could hear announcements declaring a station-wide lockdown. No ships would be permitted to depart. Erin powered up the small vessel as Kate and Zara strapped themselves in. "We can't use the main docking ports," he explained. "They will be sealed, but there is another way." The craft detached from the platform, and instead of heading outward toward space, Terran piloted it along the station's exterior, hugging the surface to avoid detection. They passed maintenance bots and external arrays, staying in the station's sensor shadow. "Station security is scrambling fighters," Terran reported grimly. "We have perhaps minutes before they locate us." "What exactly is the plan?" Kate asked, clutching her seat as the ship accelerated. Terran smiled grimly. "The plan," Princess Zara said, "is ridiculous, but our only option." Zara nodded. "Our vessel has been modified with experimental phase shift technology. We will attempt to create a dimensional pocket just long enough to slip past Nova Haven's security net." "That sounds," Zara began before Zara interrupted. I know, impossible and dangerous." Kate Roberts never expected to be abducted by aliens, let alone become the savior of an alien princess. But that was exactly what happened when her ordinary camping trip turned extraordinary. The night sky lit up with strange lights as Kate sat beside her campfire in the remote mountains of Colorado. She was a simple mechanic with a love for solitude and stargazing. When the massive ship descended silently through the clouds, her first instinct was to run, but curiosity rooted her to the spot. The vessel was unlike anything human technology could create, smooth and pearlescent, with flowing lines that seemed to defy physics. It hovered above the clearing, before a beam of soft blue light enveloped Kate. She felt weightless as she was drawn upward into the ship. Inside, Kate found herself in a chamber of swirling colors and strange architecture. Nothing made sense to her human perceptions. The air smelled of cinnamon and ozone, a peculiar combination that made her head spin. Suddenly she heard what sounded like fighting coming from a nearby corridor. Following the sounds, Kate discovered a tall, slender figure with opalescent skin fighting against 4 burly guards. The figure was clearly female, with features that were almost human, but not quite. Her eyes were large and completely golden without pupils. Her hair flowed like liquid silver around her shoulders as she fought with unexpected strength. Without thinking, Kate grabbed a strange object from the wall that resembled a pipe and swung it at the nearest guard. He crumpled to the floor. The others turned to face this new threat, but Kate had spent years defending herself in rough neighborhoods. She might be human, but she was tough. Together, Kate and the alien woman dispatched the remaining guards. The alien turned to Kate, her golden eyes widening in what appeared to be surprise or perhaps assessment. "Am Zara, heir to the throne of the Lysarian Empire," the alien said in perfect English, though her lips did not move exactly in sync with the words. Kate realized she was hearing a translation. "Somehow, the guards will return with reinforcements. We must escape." Zara continued, already moving toward what looked like a small vessel docked in a side chamber. Kate followed, partly out of fear of being left alone and partly out of the absurd notion that she was somehow responsible for this alien princess, now that she had helped Terrence inside the smaller craft. Zara moved her long fingers across a panel of lights and the vessel detached from the mothership. Kate watched in awe as they shot away from the larger vessel toward the stars. "We cannot return to your planet," Zara explained. "It is being monitored. They would find us immediately." "Wait, what?" Kate protested. "My life is down there. I just helped you escape. I didn't sign up for a space adventure." Zara turned her golden gaze to Kate, her expression unreadable to human eyes. "You saved me, human. But now I must keep you safe. You do not understand what you have done or what you now represent to my people." The small ship accelerated beyond anything Kate thought possible, stars blurring around them as Earth rapidly shrank from view. For days they traveled through space. Kate learned that Zara was fleeing a political coup. Her father, the Emperor, had been imprisoned, and she had been captured while trying to gather allies among other species. The guards Kate had helped fight were loyal to Zara's cousin, who had seized power. "They are tracking this vessel," Zara admitted after their 5th day in space. "We cannot outrun them forever, but I know of a place where we might find sanctuary." Kate stared out of the viewing portal at the endless expanse of stars. She had been a loner on Earth with few connections, but she had never imagined being this alone, cut off from her entire species, her whole world. "Tell me about this coup," Zara, Kate said, trying to understand the situation she had been dragged into. Zara settled beside her, their shoulders almost touching. "My cousin Kelvar has always been ambitious," she explained. "He believes the Lysarian Empire should conquer, rather than cooperate with other species for generations. Our people have been peacekeepers and diplomats, but Kelvar wants war. He sees it as our destiny to rule." "And your father disagreed," Kate guessed. Zara nodded. "My father, Emperor Talorn, believes in cooperation, alliance, and mutual respect among species. Kelvar staged his coup during a diplomatic mission, capturing my father and many loyal officials. I escaped to seek help, but was tracked and nearly captured when you found Mikate processed this information. So she had inadvertently become involved in an alien civil war." "Great." The ship suddenly lurched, throwing both of them against. The wall alarms blared and lights flashed red. "They have found us," Zara said, her voice tight with fear. "We must reach the sanctuary first." Kate watched as Zara piloted the ship with desperate skill. They dove toward a dense asteroid field, each massive, rock threatening to crush their small vessel. A larger ship appeared behind them, sleek and predatory. "Hold on," Zara warned as she plunged them between 2 massive asteroids, barely squeezing through the pursuing ship, fired energy weapons that lit up space around them. Kate had never felt so helpless, watching as Zara performed impossible maneuvers to avoid both the weapons and the asteroids. "We cannot outrun them forever," Zara said, her voice strained. "I must attempt something dangerous," before Kate could ask what this dangerous thing might be. Zara pressed a sequence of symbols on the control panel. The ship shuddered violently, and Kate felt a strange sensation, like being stretched and compressed simultaneously. What she began to ask, but her words died as she saw the view outside the portal. The stars seemed to elongate, and then they were somewhere else entirely. A region of space with different star patterns. "What just happened?" Kate asked, when she could speak again. "A dimensional shift," Zara explained, looking exhausted. "It is forbidden technology because it is unpredictable and dangerous. But I had no choice. We have temporarily escaped, but the ship is damaged. We will need to land soon." Below them was a strange planet, mostly purple and green with swirling clouds. Kate felt a mixture of terror and wonder as Zara guided their damaged vessel toward the surface. The landing was rough, the ship skidding across a field of what looked like purple grass, before coming to rest against a formation of crystalline rocks. Kate was thrown from her seat, despite the safety restraints hitting her head against the wall. When she regained consciousness, Zara was leaning over her, golden eyes filled with concern. "Are you injured?" she asked, her cool fingers examining Kate's forehead. "Just a bump," Kate answered, sitting up slowly. "Where are we?" "The planet Vespar." Zara said, "It is inhabited by a species called the Mori. They are neutral in Lysarian politics, but not particularly friendly to outsiders. We must be cautious." Kate followed Zara outside the ship and gasped at the alien landscape. Everything was shades of purple and green, the sky a deep indigo with twin suns hanging low on the horizon. The air was breathable but had a sweet tang that made Kate slightly lightheaded. "We need to find a settlement," Zara said, retrieving a small pack from the ship and what looked like weapons. I can trade for repairs, but we must be careful not to reveal who I am. They walked for hours across the strange landscape, Kate marveling at plants that seemed to move as they passed and small flying creatures that glowed in the deepening twilight. Her muscles ached and her head throbbed, but she pressed on, following the alien princess. She had inadvertently bound herself to. As night fell, they saw lights in the distance, a settlement of some kind. As they got closer, Kate could see structures that resembled hives made of a translucent material that glowed from within. Stay close to me, Zara whispered. Let me do the talking. The Mori are telepathic, but they can understand spoken language if they choose to. Kate nodded, feeling utterly out of her depth as they approached the alien settlement. She was about to meet her second alien species, and she still hadn't fully processed meeting the first. The Mori turned out to be insectoid beings with 4 arms and compound eyes that reflected light like prisms. They emerged from their hive structures as Zara and Kate approached, chittering among themselves, in what Kate assumed was their language. Zara stepped forward and spoke carefully. We seek temporary sanctuary and repairs for our vessel. We can trade valuable items in exchange. The largest of the Mori stepped forward, its mandibles clicking. We sense deception in you, traveler. It said, its voice a strange buzzing sound. You bring danger to our colony. Zara stiffened beside Kate. No, we only seek help. We will leave as soon as our ship is repaired. The Mori surrounded them, their clicking growing louder. We will discuss your fate. The leader said you will remain here until we decide. Kate felt a cold dread settle over her as she and Zara were escorted into one of the hive structures. It was clear they were prisoners now, and she wondered if she would ever see Earth again.